Every single day, thousands of news stories break all over the world. And most of them, they just feel random, right? Totally disconnected. But what if we took just one ordinary day, say February 13th, 2026, and we treated all those stories like pieces of a puzzle? What kind of picture of our world would actually emerge? Well, that's exactly what we're going to find out.
So yeah, that's the big question for today. We're going to take all the major headlines from this single 24-hour window and piece them together. The idea is to see the hidden connections, the big themes, and maybe even the human drama that really defined this one moment in time.
So let's start with the United States, because on this particular Friday, the U.S. was, well, it was a real study in contrasts. It was projecting this immense power out there on the world stage, while at the exact same time, it was dealing with some pretty deep fractures right at home. And that quote really sets the tone. That was the triumphant message from President Trump speaking from Fort Bragg. And he was celebrating a pretty big deal, a successful special forces raid that had just pushed Nicolas Maduro out of power in Venezuela. I mean, that's a major geopolitical statement, a very clear projection of American power. And this is where it gets really fascinating. Because on one hand, you have this incredibly assertive foreign policy, the raid in Venezuela, plus the world's biggest aircraft carrier, the USS Gerald R. Ford, being sent to the Middle East. But then you look back home, and it's a completely different story. Deep division. The House actually came together in a rare bipartisan move to reject the president's own proposed tariffs on Canada. And on top of that, the Department of Homeland Security was literally hours away from a government shutdown. So you have strength abroad, gridlock at home.
But it wasn't just about showing muscle either. This same day saw a big strategic shift. After nearly a decade, U.S. troops finished pulling out of a really key base in Syria. And at the same time, leaked plans revealed this massive multi-billion-dollar American plan to reconstruct Gaza. So it shows U.S. policy wasn't just one thing. It was this complex mix of projecting power, strategically pulling back, and planning for the long term, all happening at once.
Okay, so that's the U.S. But of course, this wasn't just an American story. Far from it. While America was navigating its own contradictions, you had these huge, landscape-altering changes happening elsewhere, completely reshaping entire nations.
A perfect example? This political earthquake that was happening in South Asia. In Bangladesh, they held their first election since the July Revolution, and the result was an absolute landslide. The Bangladesh Nationalist Party took 209 seats. This wasn't just another election. This was a total political realignment of a country with over 170 million people. Just massive.
Meanwhile, in Iran, a really grim number was grabbing the world's attention. Human rights groups were reporting that the death toll from the ongoing civil unrest there had tragically passed 7,000. It was this stark, heartbreaking reminder of the intense pressures and the very real human cost of the conflict that was brewing inside the country. And then, over in the digital world, we saw this concept called the splinter net pretty much become a reality. Russia went ahead and fully blocked WhatsApp, basically pushing all its users toward its own state-controlled platforms. And this isn't just about one app, It's about the entire idea of a single global internet fracturing into these separate, nationally controlled walled gardens. And you could see this theme of shifting power playing out in other ways, too. Mexico's president was pushing forward with an oil deal for Cuba, openly defying U.S. pressure. And in the corporate world, the CEO of this huge global logistics company, DP World, suddenly resigned. Why? It was a direct result of revelations from the recently released Jeffrey Epstein documents. It just goes to show how scandal can ripple across the globe and topple even the most powerful figures. But behind all these high-level stories about politics and economics, there are always individual people. And if we zoom in a little bit, we can really see the human cost. And the personal triumphs that truly marked this day. For this, let's head over to the 2026 Winter Olympics in Milan Cortina. The story there was supposed to be all about one person, the American figure skater Ilya Malinin. They called him the Quad God. He was the undisputed, hands-down, heavy favorite to win the gold medal. The entire world was basically watching, just expecting to see a coronation.
Yeah, that's not what happened. Not even close. In an upset that absolutely nobody saw coming, Malinin just faltered. He finished in a shocking 8th place. The gold medal went to the completely unheralded Mikhail Shidora from Kazakhstan, who instantly became a national hero. It was just one of those moments of pure, unpredictable Olympic magic.
And the Olympics really captured the whole spectrum of human experience that day. I mean, while Kazakhstan was celebrating this incredible, unexpected moment of national pride, a Ukrainian skeleton athlete, Vladislav Haraskevich, used his moment for a powerful personal protest. He was disqualified for wearing a helmet that honored fellow athletes who had been killed in the war. It was just this poignant intersection of sports, politics, and personal grief.
And outside the stadium, the planet itself seemed to be under pressure. A 6.2 magnitude earthquake rocked northern Chile. And on the other side of the world, these severe storms were battering the Iberian Peninsula so badly that the Portuguese army had to evacuate thousands of people from their homes. It's a powerful reminder that while we're all focused on politics and sports, the forces of nature are always, always at play.
Okay, so what do we make of all this? When we finally put all the puzzle pieces together, what is the real story of February 13th, 2026?
Well, the story is one of contradiction and really of change. It's about superpowers flexing their muscles on the world stage while they're struggling with deep divisions at home. It's about democratic processes being tested everywhere, from a landslide victory in Bangladesh to a government shutdown in Washington. It's a world where our digital lives are becoming more fractured and more controlled. And at the heart of it all, it's about these incredibly powerful individual human stories of protest, of shock, and of resilience.
So that was the world on one single day. A planet full of power and protest, of crisis, and of totally unexpected triumph. It paints this picture not of chaos, but of a world in constant, dynamic motion. And really, it just leaves us with one final crucial question. If this is where we were then, where does the story go from here?